What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, we're taking a look at the Bitcoin price here on the 4-hourly chart. We're going to talk about this scenario right over here. We've been talking about this for weeks now, but it is looking very similar. The movements, are we going to have that major run here to the $48,000 or even $49,000 range and have that major drop? Now, we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin price here on the 4-hourly. Remember, we did talk about this potential descending wedge. We needed to close a 4-hourly candle above or below to reach the target. We're almost reaching the target here, which is around about the $48,000 here for BTC. We're going to take a look at the scenarios because we are breaking a major resistance zone, which is the $47,000. Now, is this breakout legit? Well, no, because we hardly have any volume at all. So I'm going to tell you the potential scenarios that could happen here in the next coming hours or days. And then also Ethereum. What is happening with Ethereum? Well, I think we're still going to have that major pump potentially to the $3,600 range. And if we have it with very low volume, it might be a shorting opportunity. And I'll explain why in this episode. We also take a look at the Ethereum BTC price. Is the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart ready to have that major leg to the upside? Because we are kind of forming another descending wedge, and you know the deal. Every time that we form a kind of a descending wedge, we pop here to the upside on the Ethereum BTC chart. We're going to be taking a look at this in today's episode, guys. Let's try and get this video to 1,000 likes. Thank you for my last video, 478 likes. Make sure to smash up the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Remember, if you are an experienced trader, PrimeXBT had got the best bonus available. You get 50% added to your deposit by using my link in the description and Bitcoinsensus 50 as the promotion code. Said this, let's dive in straight into the video. Hello there, Andy here. Remember, guys, that this is my opinion, my analysis only. I'm not a financial advisor. If you're willing to do anything that I say on my videos, make sure to do your own research and finally take your own decision. Now, let's zoom in here on the Bitcoin price on the 4-hourly. And remember, we've been talking now about this for several weeks, maybe potentially almost a month. And we're actually making very similar movements also the last few days. So we're going to still go through this potential fractal. Okay, now let's take a look and zoom in, because here on the price of BTC from February all the way into March and April, we were creating these higher lows. Okay, finally breaking this kind of structure of this ascending channel or ascending wedge, if you wish, and finally creating these higher lows, and then suddenly breaking the last two higher lows. Now, if we zoom in here on the price of BTC, this is the same situation but in a lower time frame. Now we are creating, also we did create these higher lows right over here, as you can see, and the last two higher lows that we created breaking from this channel got broken here to the downside. As you can see, a very similar scenario to what happened here. We did break here these last higher lows right here, as you can see. So now let's zoom in here on the chart and to see what happened exactly. Okay, let's get the volume out here, because the volume is very important. As soon as we retested here the resistance, from the support of this ascending channel or wedge, we did have that massive drop here, and also with a decent amount of volume from this huge candle. Now, what does usually happen when you have a retracement with no volume at all? As you can see here, okay, this is very important to check out what has happened in the past, because this is how everybody has learned technical analysis, right? I get a lot of comments saying stop comparing something. It doesn't mean that it needs to happen. Well, guys, charts, charting is market sentiment, and yes, of course it is. It may be a higher chance that is something like this is going to happen. We also look at the volume. Okay, if the volume is high on the drop and on the retracement, the volume is very low, guys. Make sure to check out this situation right over here, because we have a huge amount of volume, and this is selling pressure after retesting here the resistance from the support of this ascending channel. And now we are having, it seems like that we are having that retracement, and not with too much volume. So how high can this go? Well, just by looking at the what has happened in the past, something similar to what is happening now is this scenario right over here. So if we could take the top here to the bottom bit and take the Fibonacci retracement, we can clearly see that we just touched above the golden pocket range. We didn't manage to break it here nicely because there wasn't much volume, as you can see on the chart. So what if I took the Fibonacci retracement and go from the top range right over here, from the current dump jump that happened on the 7th of September, take the Fibonacci from the top to the low, we are currently getting a rejection at the 50% level. So we're not too far off from the 62% range, as you can see here on the chart. So my take, in my opinion, if the volume still continues to the downside, and we do see that pump going to the $49,000 range, I think that the price is not going to get sustained, especially if there's hardly any volume here. Now, if we suddenly see the price coming all the way up here and suddenly seeing a lot of volume going to the 78% Fibonacci retracement and a huge candle, then I'm going to start becoming a little bit bullish, because we are going to see good volume and good buying pressure. But if the volume continues low, then this might be a shorting opportunity. Also, by looking at what has happened here, something very, very similar. You know the deal. Volume goes down, volume goes up while the price goes down. On the retracement, if the volume keeps going very, very low, just like what happened right over here, the most likely scenario is that you're going to have that dead cat bounce, okay, situation. That's what happened there. So it's very, very likely it might happen here, especially after breaking a major uptrend structure, okay. It's just price action, guys. Price action, one of the most important things to watch by looking at the chart. And now let's take a look at the BTC price here on the 4 hourly, because we did talk a couple of days back about this descending wedge. We were having a lot of volatility. Anybody that traded this for a long position or a short position might have gotten stopped out, because it was absolutely crazy. We had a 4 hourly candle just going up and down. We finally stayed inside here of this descending wedge. Remember, we were counting the closes of the 4 hourly candles, and we still were inside of this range. Remember, I was saying we need a 4 hourly close with some decent amount of volume. We did have that 4 hourly close right over here. The volume was not too much, so this was something that I wouldn't have traded, but we almost reached the target here, just below the $48,000. Really, the target is the top of the wedge, so we're currently round about that range. Now, if we do not see any volume here from the breakout of the $78,000, eventually, we are hitting a major resistance zone. This might not be a successful breakout, and we're going to have that rollover from the current prices. So I am still sticking with the bearish situation in the immediate short term. This might take a few days, it might take a week or two. Remember, if we get the top here of the Fibonacci retracement, we're already getting some type of resistance at the 50% levels. So my take, if we do come up to the 61% golden pocket, 62%, and then the volume is going to have that major downside, then I think that a major rollover coming back down to retest at $53,000 range is very, very likely in the next coming days. Now let's take a look at Ethereum and see what could happen to Ethereum if BTC does have that major rollover and go and retest the $43,000. Well, like I mentioned before, we are in a nice uptrend here, creating higher lows for Ethereum. We're currently still creating higher lows, as you can see, and this hasn't been broken just yet. We've seen a lot of volatility, but if we do see a 4 hourly close here with some decent amount of volume, I think any type of retracement here is going to be a very, very good selling opportunity, because we're going to have that major drop here. In my opinion, we're going to get a massive resistance here from this kind of neckline. This does look like very much so a very, very dodgy head and shoulder situation. We have the left shoulder right over here ahead, and we might see some dodgy price action over here and then have that major fall off. Now, this is what I got here quickly for Ethereum, just a quick update, because all depending on what Bitcoin does, Ethereum will follow eventually, maybe a more or less, it doesn't matter. But if Bitcoin does have that major drop, eventually Ethereum and a lot of the cryptos are going to fall. So the most bullish case scenario in the immediate short term for Ethereum is getting the Fibonacci from the top to the bottom bit and coming to the 62% golden pocket range right over there, which would be around about the $3,600 range, plus minus a few dollars because of the volatility. Now, I did see some analysts here potentially calling this a double bottom scenario right over there. It is not the most beautiful. If we go to the 1 hourly, I don't see this as a potential double bottom. It's not the most beautiful. So yeah, but we could have a decent pump if we do break this major resistance. We are currently retesting it here once, twice. So this is around about the 3,450. So if we do have a success breakout, then I do see maybe Ethereum potentially hitting that $3,600, $3,650 range. Okay, so this would be the immediate short-term bullish case if that were to happen. Now, most bearish case, guys, will be having that rollover from this point and breaking the support, coming to lower levels. Remember, if you're an experienced trader, PrimeXBT is my favorite day trading platform. If you use my link in the description and Bitcoinsensus 50 as the promotion code, you're getting 50% added to your deposit. You cannot withdraw this bonus. It is used for buying power. You can withdraw all of the profits that you make with this bonus. Also, the Ethereum BTC pair can be traded on PrimeXBT. My favorite swing trading platform because of the fees is Bybit. Using my link in the description, you get up to $600 now by using my link in the description. Now let's take a look at the Ethereum BTC pair because it's looking very, very bullish. As you can see, if we zoom in here, you know, we did have this massive descending wedge. Okay, we were slightly creating lower lows there. So this is a descending wedge. We popped to the upside, we created another descending wedge, popped to the upside, and now we are creating another descending wedge. Now, is this one going to break to the downside or to the upside? This is what we are going to analyze. Now, remember, we do have this one that still hasn't arrived to the target, which is all the way here to the top of the wedge, at least round about the 0.082 BTC per Ethereum. So we could have that major leg here to the upside. Now, if we do take this as a pull and this being a pennant, you know, from the breakout, we could see those major targets in the next coming days, potentially a week or two, or depending on the price action. Now, it is also the target here, the top of the wedge. You can clearly see that we might see a little bit of that volatility if we did have that major breakout here from the resistance zone. Let me just zoom in here on the 4 hourly so you can check out here the Ethereum BTC pair, and you can clearly see that we are creating those lower highs and lower lows on the price action. We did see a little bit of volatility here on the 4 hourly, but we did manage to close here above these lows, as you can see on the chart. So this is looking very, very bullish. This is a bullish pattern. As you can see, most of the times we do break to the upside, but if we did break to the downside, the measured move would be getting the width here of the back of the wedge, and from the breakout, depending on where we're breaking out, we could come as low as the 0.064 BTC per Ethereum, okay, in the next coming days. So this is what I've got. We're almost at the very end of this descending wedge, so this could break out in a matter of a day or two, guys, so make sure to stay tuned. This is going to be it for today's episode. Make sure to check out the Bitcoinsensus website. The latest news today is world's largest corporate BTC holder accumulates more Bitcoin. You can check out this article on the Bitcoinsensus website down below. If you haven't seen my Bybit or my PrimeXBT tutorial to learn how to trade on those platforms, video on the screen, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.